Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to San Cristobal de las Casas. I hope it's not too loud as I speak here. It's a very busy street, and today could be finally the day that we hit some Mexican rock. Perhaps. I don't know for sure, because when you have to cooperate with certain kind of people, you never can be 100% sure, if you know what I mean. But anyway, we've got some appointments and let's see if that works out. I'm currently on the way to the fruit shop to get some fruits for during the day. The fruit situation here in San Cristobal de las Casas is not as ideal as in Bacalar. The reason for this is that San Cristobal is situated above 2,000 meters of altitude. There is of course less local fresh produce of good high quality exotic fruits, simply because the climate you know is totally different. You can feel it especially in the night. The air is much colder, much drier. It cools down to about, I don't know, 20-15 degrees, which is admittedly not super cold, but you have to say, for Mexico, another beetle here, it's incredible. I'm pretty sure this has dramatic influence on which fruits grow here and which fruits do not grow here. So they probably have to kind of transport the stuff from further away, and this of course drops the quality of the fruit. So yeah, let's see what we can get today. Catch you guys later. Y dos aguacates, por favor.
Dos aguacates, muy bien.
Sí. Gracias.
Así, hasta luego.
San Cristobal de las Casas is a colonial city, which means they built really tight streets, tiny little houses, you know, actually really beautiful building style, but not ideal for car drivers. As you can see, traffic jam down this road all the way. And it's literally every day, traffic jam every day down this road, because the streets are just too tight for so many cars. And also the pedestrian ways, you know, they are really small, really tight. You have to dodge people 24/7 basically when you want to walk here. Heading home to the hostel, and I think I'll make a little market haul, show you what I got, and then we will hopefully head to the climbing spot. So, back into the hostel, let's see what we've got here. 7 bananas. And as you can see, they are not perfectly ripe. Those avocados, these avocados are just insanely good, I tell you. So creamy, so high in really good fat content. What can I say? It's just amazing. 5 mangoes. And these mangoes look actually super good. They're super ripe, super soft, super sweet. Smell amazingly. Time for a little voiceover. So recently we heard about this place called Arcotete, which is supposed to be kind of an ecotouristic park close to San Cristobal, containing also some rock climbing. Of course, we were absolutely psyched to check it out, so we grabbed our gear and hopped into the Colectivo, which are these modified vans that you will find in any bigger Mexican city and which kind of perform the task of public transport. After a 25-minute ride, we arrived in a hilly area only inhabited by some farmers, and it was interesting to see how the flora there is completely different from what I've seen so far from Mexico. Due to the high altitude, this must be somewhere around 2,200 meters above sea level or something. It looks almost like at home. A lot of pine wood, conifers, no palms, no jungle whatsoever. So we hiked into this park, paid 10 Mexican pesos for entrance and began looking for this supposedly quite awesome crag. I didn't expect too much, since I couldn't really imagine a big wall in this area where not even the tiny rocks or something were visible. But after a short downhill footpath, all of a sudden this huge limestone arch appeared, full of tufas, full of stalactites and crazy shapes, with a river running right through it. So the scenery was definitely amazing and I couldn't wait to climb on that stuff. So I got on this route which led to the very top of the arch, slightly overhanging all the way, with tiny little roofs in between and with big awesome holes pretty much 90% of the time. And the crux at the very top, I wouldn't estimate it as very hard. I think it's somewhere around 7B or something. But it was so amazing to get some climbing moves in again, just to have this feeling of movement, you know. The anchor of the first pitch was actually visible from the ground, and it was my target basically to just climb to this first anchor. But when I arrived there, I saw that there is this prolongation to the very top of the arch. And the problem was, of course, that I only had 4 quick draws left, even though I had skipped a few bolts in the first pitch. But yeah, I thought the anchor of the second pitch would be pretty much here. So I thought, when I skip some bolts, you know, it would be possible to reach it. And after some considering, I decided to just go for it. So I thought I'd share a little bit of kind of clipping strategy, if you know what I mean, that I used in order to reach the top with only 4 quick draws, because it's quite interesting. You have to skip some bolts, but theoretically you do not have to skip any bolts if you are lucky. But this time I was not lucky. So yeah, let's see what I did here. For example, I clipped this bolt which is to the left from me, and I had a bolt right into my face, and I was considering, should I clip it, because I only had 3 quick draws left, you know. And here is the bolt where I actually should clip now. Then I saw that the next bolt is up there on the edge of this roof, and I knew that this section would probably be pretty hard, and here was my last kind of bolt, and I didn't want to fall into this bolt because below me it was kind of a straight vertical wall, and this is quite dangerous when you fall out of an overhang into a straight vertical wall. So I decided to go for the clip, and what I did, of course, because I figured it was possible, I climbed just backwards and grabbed the quick draw from before and put it back onto my harness. So now I'm still in there with 3 quick draws left. You know, it's kind of scary when you start into a section like this with only 1 bolt that's protecting you, basically. And if this bolt goes off for some reason, you will make a really, really bad, really, really deep fall. Maybe even a grounder, who knows. So it's definitely an uncomfortable feeling to climb in such a situation, but I decided to just go for it because the bolt looked very, very stable and very, very solid, so there was no reason to believe that it would go off. Anyway, as I assumed, this section was not very easy, and so I decided to go for this next clip as soon as possible. And now I was really comfortable because I had 2 quick draws right at my body, so to say. And if one of these bolts would go off, then there was still the second one protecting me. And so I decided to go for a really, really big run out up this vertical wall below the last roof. And here was the place where I actually thought the anchor would be, you know. And I was quite disappointed when I saw, shit, I have to do the last roof as well. So now at this point I only have 1 quick draw left onto my harness. And that's pretty bad because the last bolt was right below this roof. And there was kind of an uncomfortable crux under this roof, below this roof. So now I did this crux. And of course there was also 1 bolt at the edge of the roof, so that you don't have to fall below the roof yet again, because it's very uncomfortable to fall into a vertical face when you're climbing from a roof. So here the next bolt was situated, and I knew I pretty much had to clip this one because otherwise it would be too dangerous to climb around the lip of this roof, because I didn't want to fall into the bolt that was below the roof, you know, when you have a vertical face below you. Then you crash with 100,000 kilometers per hour into this wall. So here I'm doing the crux around the lip, kind of a really upper body power blocky move. And the next thing that happens is that I have the anchor right in front of my nose, but I don't have a quick draw to kind of clip myself into it and create a stand, if you know what I mean. What I had to do is I had to climb back and get the last quick draw, and with the knowledge of the crux, I actually could do it quite safely without falling. And here some shots from me kind of cleaning this route. I had to do a really big swing. I cleaned it, of course, only to the first anchor, to the anchor of the first pitch, because you know, cleaning very overhanging routes can be a real struggle. So I hope you enjoyed this little segment about clipping strategy. It was a pretty cool adventure to climb this super big arch, this super big roof. And I'm pretty sure, although there are no really hard routes or projects or anything, we will definitely return 1 or 2 more times before we will continue traveling. There is also this one line which goes straight through a complete roof, which is kind of a right variant of the route that I did this day. And this looks really challenging. I mean, the holes are big as well, but it is much more steep and much more interesting. So I think I'm gonna check this out next time. And finally, the day was completed with a ride in one of these Volkswagen Käfers, of which there are so many in this area, and a nice meal in one of our favorite restaurants. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm glad we checked out the Arcotete, and I can't wait to return.
Once again.
Gonna stay.